Hey, this is Mike from Junkie on Crafts and Builds, and this is the unboxing and impressions video of G.I.Joe Classified Series Stuart Outback Selkirk. Now this is a reissue of the same mold that we got with Tiger Force Outback, just in a more vintage toy color scheme. So here's the front of the box. Has this artwork here, goes over to the side, a similar artwork to what we saw with Tiger Force Outback. There's the back. He is 6 1/3 inches tall, with all the same accessories that we saw in the first release. There are his stats, and like I said, he is number 63. That's it for the box. Let's look at the accessories. Here is everything with Outback out of his package, and of course I've already taken the bands off of Outback, but that's how he comes in his now cardboard coffin. So we're going to remove him from this for now. We will talk about the figure later, and let's focus in on the accessories. Now we can see that all his accessories come in this Foot Locker cardboard container. Has his name on it, number 63. So decent enough for those that want to keep all their accessories in the container. But let's look at his accessories, and we'll start with his backpack. And all this is a 1-for-1 recolor of his Tiger Force accessories. So there's his backpack, same nice sculpting detail throughout the so we have the same texture and detail and sculpt on this backpack like we have with the Tiger Force. Two prongs to hold the shovel and assault weapon. Speaking of the shovel, here it is right here, molded in black plastic. Nothing else with it but the same sculpt as what we saw. His assault rifle, again, molded in a black plastic this time than the medium dark gray from the Tiger Force. Still has the removable magazine. And the strap is painted brown. Next we have his trusty flashlight. Again, black plastic, nothing else with it, but the sculpt is very decent on it. Next we have his knife, which goes into the sheath on his ankle. Black plastic, painted silver blade. Finally, we have his handgun with this kind of cream style wrapping around the grip. It is blast effect compatible. So that is the accessories. Let's move on to the figure. So now that we have his accessories on him, let's talk about the character. Young Outback was born in Big Piney, Wyoming, and that environment helped him hone his natural physical and mental toughness to survive in such inhospitable environments for extended periods of time. He had no problems living off the land and being away from any human life. When he became of age, Outback enlisted in the Army with a primary MOS of infantry, and he was assigned to multiple clandestine operations in both Central America and the Middle East. He also became an instructor at the Army Survival School and Jungle Warfare Training Center. From the vintage bio card, there was a quote that said, "Most people are intimidated by wilderness and the complete absence of the hand of man, but not Outback. He believes in being part of his environment, not its adversary." With the vintage toy, Outback wore a white t-shirt with the acronym Survival across his chest. That acronym comes from the U.S. Army Ranger Handbook and is a reminder of the core guidance on successfully surviving any environment. And I broke down survival in the opening teaser. His first appearance in the comic book series was Marvel issue number 59, which came out in 1987, where he was introduced and part of a group that was testing out some new G.I.Joe weaponry. His next big appearance was being part of a rescue mission team in the country of Barovia. The mission went south and he was able to escape, but the other members of the team, which included Stalker, Quick Kick, and Snowjob, were left behind, incarcerated, and moved to a prison camp. It wasn't until issue 67 when those Joes were able to be released and returned back to the team. His vintage toy was in the 1987 wave and was also featured in a 87 commercial for the Slam Tank, as well as the box art for that vehicle. In 1988, his toy was re-released as part of the Night Force sub-team and packaged in a Toys R Us exclusive with Crazy Legs. His next appearance in 1990 he was released as part of Tiger Force, which is coincidentally where we got the first release of this classified figure. In 1993, we see a drastic change in his appearance with his release as part of the Battle Corps sub-team. With his figure releasing in '87, he wasn't able to be part of the Sunbow cartoon. So that's what I have for his bio. Let's go ahead and look at this new classified figure. Now that we went through the background, let's go through the aesthetics of this figure. So we're going to take the backpack off and let's get a closer look at him. Being a repaint, I do love this mold. I like the Tiger Force version of him. This one, we got some things to talk about. So let's go ahead and look at his face first off. And as you can see, I do have mostly straight eyes. The aesthetic on this head is a little different than what I was expecting. I do have some QC in regards to the paint bleed over. The wash for the top of the head is different than the beard. With mine, one thing I did note here is the striations across the neck with the mold. Looks a little off. Chest is the same, and as everything else, the body. One thing to note is the white here, and it might not look it on the screen because of the lighting, but it's kind of like a dingier yellow. There wasn't another layer of white that was put on this when it should have. Definite bleed over onto his arms. So that's kind of unfortunate. Another thing to note is the elbows. As you can tell, it's a different color flesh tone than the upper and lower arm. So that's really distracting, honestly. The body itself, like I said, it's the same. I got a little more wiggle waggle in the ab crunch and the ball joint here at the waist. But legs look good. All in all, just a little slight QC issues. But like I said, I do like the mold. But let's go ahead and look at comparison. And here's the main comparison I'm going to do for this video. And that's with the original mold from the Tiger Force version with this current mold here. And like I said, you really can't go wrong if you can handle the small QC stuff that comes with the new version. Looking at them here a little closer, one main thing that is better with this mold than a lot of the Tiger Force molds is that the legs and the hips aren't gummy where you're having difficulty lifting the leg up and possibly shearing off that drop down peg. I like them. I like them a lot. The face, for me, if I look at him a little closer here, I do prefer the Tiger Force look. I think the more weathered appearance is a definite, he just has that gristled look and I like it. And the paint work on his face, in my opinion, is better than the vintage Outback deco here. But other than that, the body's the same. You can see when I was talking about the mismatched elbows on this new Outback, it's because they use the same ones off of this mold, and you can tell the skin tone is a little lighter than this one here. That's the main things I see differently. Now, I also have here, since I had so many of the Tiger Force ones, I was trying my hand with a little customizing. This custom that I made and failed at because I accidentally broke the pin. I was thinking, well, why can't I just use this head? It's a little darker, it's not quite red. Okay, so taking the heads off of these two molds, and again, like I said, this is the Tiger Force version, just recolored. But one thing I noted was the difference in the double ball peg hole in his neck. This one's much smaller compared to the first version. And the neck is a lot slimmer than the Tiger Force version as well. If you can see that. So that means obviously that the heads for this double ball peg is much smaller on the new Outback head than the double ball peg on the old Tiger Force version. So the heads and the neck joints are incompatible, which is odd. So I guess what I'm going to do is try to see if I can put the whole neck joint into here, but I don't think that's going to work because of the size differences. So that's interesting, to say the least. Quite a thing here. And for final impressions, here's Outback with the rest of his wave mates. We've got Cover Girl, Slaughtered Marauder, Barbecue, and we have Mr. Smiley, aka Falcon. So final impressions of this Outback. Stuart's a good mold. I liked it when it came out in the Tiger Force mold. I like this one. There are a couple QC things that hold it back, but for the most part, they're minor items that, unless you're really looking, you're not gonna see them. Everything's the same as the Tiger Force mold, just different colors. Grab him, he's a good addition. His head and neck are smaller than the Tiger Force mold, so that may pose some challenges for customizers in regards to doing a quick swap. You might need to do a little more work to get and put them onto this body buck. So that's my impressions. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Bye.